If nature didn't make it, don't take it. Don't take it if nature didn't make it. This I heard from the mouth of some sisters in Philadelphia when I gave a speech. Make sure that whenever you put something in your mouth, that something is going to complement you and that it's going to serve you well. It's going to support your nervous system. Because if you don't, you will find yourself stressed. The one thing you want to do is to love. And that love should begin with you. Once you love you, you love the whole world.
Famous health expert and herbalist Dr. Sebi was on a mission to heal the world naturally. However, his life took a really dark turn. Imagine being professional and famous in your field just to have your life stopped in a cloud of controversies. The pioneer who once had the world at his feet was currently confronted with a destiny that would leave everybody speechless. Get ready to find out the shocking truth behind Dr. Sebi's tragic end. So, without any delay, let's just dive in. Dr. Sebi died on August 6, 2016, at the age of 82 years, in custody at the Hospital Escuela Universitario in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. According to the reports, he died of pneumonia, but his autopsy report was never released.
I spoke to him about 3 days before he had passed.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be able to say from that conversation that he passed from pneumonia, not based on the information that I've obtained, where he said he had been on a 2-week fast at the time. And so he was feeling low and he needed something, and you can tell.
His lifeless body was found in a cold, damp cell, a sharp contrast to the active daily routine he once experienced. But the question is, what drove this well-known natural health expert who had helped countless people all around the globe to meet his destiny behind bars? What series of events took his life in a foreign land, far away from his loved ones? Dr. Sebi's trouble started on May 28, 2016, when he was arrested at Juan Manuel Gálvez International Airport in Roatan, Honduras, as he was leaving the country after a meeting where he had spoken about his natural health cures and approaches. The authorities accused him of tax evasion and money laundering, claiming that he had illegally transported $37,000 in cash through the airport. He was facing prison for more than 15 years. But Dr. Sebi immediately denied the accusations, stating that the cash was for his humanitarian work in Africa, where he was building a clinic and health centers to provide natural well-being services to those in need.
Whether it's to pay salaries or do maintenance on our healing center in Honduras. And the folks who he had put in charge, I don't know really what happened, they never provided that paperwork for him.
As a matter of fact, he had actually been working tirelessly to promote health and wellness in deprived communities and areas, and he even got acknowledgement from the African government for his efforts. Despite his fights and proof of his humanitarian work, he was arrested and held at the prison facility in Tegucigalpa, where his health started to collapse quickly.
When I saw the video of him, what it looked like to me appearing to kind of call out those who were, betraying him.
The situation in the prison was harsh, with less food and water, which further contributed to Dr. Sebi's poor health condition. He was held in a small cell with limited access to sunlight and natural air, and was denied proper medical attention and care for his severe health condition. As his health was falling apart, Dr. Sebi's loved ones became seriously concerned, appealing to the authorities to release him on humanitarian grounds. Dr. Sebi's legal team, consisting of devoted and experienced lawyers, battled effortlessly to get his bail, investigating every possibility in their favor to defend him. They gathered all the proof, investigated every inch of the case, and worked tirelessly to build a strong case for his defense. In spite of their best attempts and hard work, however, their efforts were not able to convince the authorities, who appeared consistent and determined to keep Dr. Sebi in prison. The accusations against him were driven by a powerful and prepared prosecutor, who guaranteed that Dr. Sebi was a serious risk, claiming that he had the means and the intention to escape the country and get rid of the charges. They also made the strong allegation that Dr. Sebi had tried to bribe the authorities to get his bail, an accusation that Dr. Sebi's lawyers immediately denied. The prosecution's claim depended on entirely weak proof, and Dr. Sebi's team stated that these were nothing more than a desperate attempt to justify the unjust detention of their client. His legal team maintained that their client was blameless of all accusations and that the claims against him were just a drama. They said that Dr. Sebi had a spotless and clear record and standing for his work, so the authorities must not disgrace his reputation, and that the charges against him were exaggerated and inspired by an intention to dishonor his work. They prepared a case and pointed out that Dr. Sebi had been in detention for quite a long time without access to proper medical consideration, and because of his chronic health issues, his well-being was at risk, but unfortunately, till that time, nothing worked in their favor. As the days turned into weeks, Dr. Sebi's health kept on weakening at an increasingly disturbing rate. He experienced ongoing suffering and pain, and his body started to shut down. His loved ones were not allowed to meet him, and they were left with no choice except to wait as his condition worsened. They also tried their best to get him out of jail, stood by his side, and supported him from the outside. However, their requests and efforts failed to get the attention of anyone in authority.
He was cold, and so yes, there was a cough. I did hear a cough.
Okay.
But he was cold. He was like he was freezing in there, and he couldn't take it anymore. He said he had been on a 2-week fast.
There was severe objection and criticism from his followers all around the world of authoritative agencies. His fans and followers were stunned and shocked by the news about his poor health condition. People were outraged, and they demanded that the authorities make a quick move to grant him bail and give him the health services he so urgently needed. But the authorities would still not move and change their decision, and sadly, nothing was of any sort of help, and Dr. Sebi was left to die in his cell. People claimed that it was not the charges against him that ended up being the reason for Dr. Sebi's downfall, but the harsh conditions in the jail and the refusal to provide him with medical services that led to his tragic demise.
Absolutely.
A confession as to like how he actually died, or
As to how someone participated in his death. But we don't want to speak names, times, things of that nature, because it's an ongoing investigation right now. And I'm very happy that that person came to us to let us know what their part was in it.
His passing was a shock to his fans and supporters all around the globe, and it brought up issues about the conditions surrounding his arrest and imprisonment. The authorities' refusal to release him and not provide him with proper care was considered gross and inhuman by a large number of people, saying this was a violation of his basic rights, and it spread anger and wide protest among the public. Dr. Sebi's arrest in June 2016 was the result of a long and delayed history of controversies, criticism, and legal fights in court that had been developing and building up over a long period of time. For years, he had been under the shadow of constant and severe criticism, questions, and opposition from the medical department, who strongly blamed him for making unverified, doubtful, and unscientific claims about his natural health products, which they considered risky and questionable. However, the rising criticism ultimately led to legal action in 2015, when the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, issued a legal warning to Dr. Sebi, accusing him of making dangerous products, which the agency considered misleading and harmful. Moreover, the FDA additionally seized and banned large numbers of his products, stating that these products were putting consumers at vital risk. In response, Dr. Sebi took legal action against the FDA, filing a claim wherein he stated that the agency was attempting to shut him up, suppress his voice for spreading the message about natural health remedies, violating his right to freedom of speech, blocking his words, and that their actions were no less than harassment and terrorizing towards a person.
We have been following medical science. They say that disease is what? Germ, virus, bacteria. I said, no, it's the food that you eat. The food better be consistent with you.
The court fight with the FDA was simply the initial burst in a wider conflict, as Dr. Sebi found himself surrounded by a growing struggle with the Honduran government, where he had established a research facility to pursue his innovative and herbal ways to deal with health issues. The legal authorities launched a probe into his activities, blaming him for making bogus medicines and running his research facility without legal licenses and permission.
1985, he got arrested because he was printing in magazines that he cures AIDS and sickle cell and cancer. And they like, that's false advertisement, that's malpractice of medicine, all type of thing. He wasn't no doctor. He just used herbs and his understanding of herbs. And he went to trial in New York. And he proved in the state of New York on record that he said, bring me y'all AIDS patients from y'all doc. He treated them while he was on trial.
Dr. Sebi again denied those claims.
You defended yourself.
Of course I did. I knew that I had sufficient evidence to prove my position.
And said that the legal authorities actually want to stop me because my inventions are being considered a danger and serious threat to their pharmaceutical business, which has a significant impact and power in the country. Therefore, the authorities are in fear that my herbal cures might shut down this business of medicine that is actually killing people rather than helping them.
Not only did I prove scientifically, but I had the diagnostic sheets, and I do have them today. And those diagnostic sheets didn't come from me. They came from their school, their American medical accredited school.
As the legal battle went on, Dr. Sebi's critics grew increasingly vocal and aggressive, releasing statements that were no less than brutal attacks on his personality and character. They blamed him for being a fraud, a fake, and a tricky craftsman preying on vulnerable and desperate people who were looking for a solution for their sicknesses, and Sebi was taking advantage of their trust and expectations for his profit and gain.
Not a doctor. He was simply a fraudulent individual with no education who took advantage of scientifically illiterate and impressionable people. But the first ridiculous claim that I will address is that germs don't exist.
Dr. Sebi answered these accusations by guaranteeing that people after him were determined to dishonor his reputation at any cost when they saw him as a danger to the state of affairs. He maintained that these organizations were working together in a mission of provocation, intimidation, and character assassination, intended to question his credibility and authenticity. In spite of all the accusations and controversies and constantly growing negative analysis, Dr. Sebi did not stop doing his work. He was more consistent than ever before, declining to step back from his services or be silenced from speaking publicly, and proceeded to passionately talk about his cures and send his message to anybody who might be in need. And his loyal followers kept depending on, trusting, and supporting his techniques, natural products, and remedies for better health, which they said contributed to improving their health and well-being. However, his legal difficulties ultimately ended up being the reason for his imprisonment. Sebi's arrest was the turning point of his long and controversial career as a herbalist and practitioner. After his arrest, he stated that this act was dishonorable and embarrassing. According to reports, Dr. Sebi's rule as a self-declared health guru ended after a long and severe fight between him and the authorities, who had become increasingly frustrated with his allegations and claims. Despite his dedicated and committed following, who depended on his strategies and cures, nothing helped Sebi to get away from all those legal troubles, as the weight of the allegations and the power of the law eventually caught up with him. It contributed massively to destroying his career and eventually ending his life. After Sebi's passing, a wild flow of fears and conspiracy theories emerged, with chaotic claims and discussions that attracted the attention of his followers, fans, and the broader public.
There was just so many conspiracies surrounding his death. Now, Usha said that she got a call stating that I guess somebody poisoned him while he was in the prison.
Yes.
Reportedly, a sizable group of people believed in the conspiracy theories. One of them stated that his death was not merely a sudden unfortunate event, but instead a fully detailed and intentional action with the solid goal of silencing him, so that they can suppress Sebi's voice, which was threatening to those who were in power and settling and spreading their businesses rapidly by wrong means. As per reports, the other prominent theory suggests that the pharmaceutical business, threatened by Dr. Sebi's natural approaches and ways of dealing with health issues, became the reason for his death. Defenders of this theory argued that his work represented a huge danger to the business benefits, and that his demise was a way to stop his thoughts and words from spreading among the public and continuing the ongoing fraud in the name of pharmaceutical medicines. Another conspiracy theory proposed that government agencies, together with the pharmaceutical industry, played a role in Dr. Sebi's unfortunate death. Some believed that his arrest and harsh, unsustainable detention were a simpler and easier yet brutal way to keep him silent. Some theorists highlighted the inequality in the legal investigation, referring to a lack of transparency and solid justifications. They questioned the official's explanation and posted on social media that Dr. Sebi's death was due to injustice and foul play. Overall, Dr. Sebi's fans and followers have been really vocal in their disbelief and shock, using social media platforms to express their frustration and sadness, discuss different ideas, and share their theories about the reasons and circumstances of his death, all while openly demanding justice and transparency in the case. According to reports, they are still determined in their belief that Dr. Sebi's groundbreaking and excellent work and legacy are being suppressed systematically and deliberately by the authorities. They believe that the reality about his untimely passing is being intentionally hidden from public view, spreading severe falsehood and shamefulness. While none of these conspiracy theories have been proven or validated with actual proof, they continue flowing and spreading widely, refusing to fade away or lose energy. Dr. Sebi's untimely and sad passing has clearly turned into a consolidating cry, a clear call to action, and a clear point for the people who completely trust in the extraordinary force of natural remedies for well-being and healthy life, and who actually found a safe way in Sebi's method. Meanwhile, it also raised questions about the thought processes and goals of the pharmaceutical business and government organizations, which they see as being motivated by greed, lust, and a longing to keep up with their dominance and command over the healthcare industry. In the end, the truth surrounding the cause of Dr. Sebi's demise may eventually remain covered in secret and mystery, never to be completely uncovered or fully revealed, therefore leaving an infinite void that will likely continue to spread and generate more conspiracy theories and speculations. In any case, Dr. Sebi's work through his ongoing legacy will continue to inspire, motivate, and empower the people who share his immovable faith in the vital importance of natural ways of healing, and for those who stay focused on carrying on his work and spreading his vision. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. But the question remains, was Sebi's death a result of his controversial view on natural healing? Or was it simply a tragic accident? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.